Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So, today's video, we're going to ask the question that I think we're all thinking about. Are we on the brink of World War III? Now, yes, I know. Over the years, plenty of prepper channels have entertained this question. Every time fucking Russia sneezes, everyone's like, oh shit, they're gonna start a war? So, I know what you guys are thinking. But, there are a lot of things building up that are leading to the next Third World War. Now, we all know that the Third World War, we all know that that's probably most likely going to lead to nuclear war. So if I'm huffing and puffing a little more today, my pack is way heavier, 5 pounds heavier, which makes a difference. And moving a little faster, or I was moving faster till this point. Once I start filming, I can't move at the same clip I was moving before. It doesn't work in the video. Anyway, we know that we're gonna go to it's not that we know, we're all thinking that it might be a nuclear war. I think we're all hoping it's not. Some of us are probably rubbing our hands together, yes, but nonetheless, I think the majority of us don't want a nuclear war. Let's talk about the things or the events that are happening around the world that are going to lead to World War III. Now, Russia and Iran apparently have been titting for tat right up until, I think it was yesterday, where Israel bombed a cargo ship that belonged to Iran in the Red Sea. A week prior to that, Iran rounded up suspected spies from Israel and other countries. They weren't naming the other countries. So, because the spies were arrested, Israel retaliated with that missile attack on the cargo ship that the Iranians own. So, we are looking at this case, or this event, if you will, as something that could spark a Third World War. But that is not the only event that's happening that's going to start a Third World War. Now, we all know Russia, a bunch of dicks. Fuck Russia. Anybody who's ever praised Russia or said Russia's a shit, you're a fucking asshole. Because Russia is always and will forever be our enemy. I don't give a fuck what president's in office, Russia's our enemy. I know some of you guys were sitting there saying, Putin's more of a man than Obama. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if Obama wore a dress. You never stand up for your enemy, and you never stand up for your enemy's president. And a lot of you guys did that shit, and I was like, I was pissed. Not pissed, bothered, annoyed, because that was stupid. Fuck Russia, fuck Putin, fuck that whole country, and the shit they do and the shit they're still doing. Now, the next thing they're doing is the Ukraine incident. The Ukraine issue has been going on for probably better than 6-7 years now. And it's getting worse because now the Ukraine are moving troops to their border and Russia is running drills near the Ukraine border. So with that, the Ukraine has now pulled out of peace talks with Russia. Russia is also pulling maneuvers in the Antarctic, and those maneuvers involved 3 nuclear submarines breaking through ice, I guess to show that the submarines can do it, or whatever the case was. Nonetheless, Russia is doing way too much and showing off their power, and not even in drips and drabs, guys. I mean, they're showing off their power, right? So there's an issue with that. So then we have China. We have China screwing around with the Philippines. The Chinese sent fishing boats, which I think are warships, but fishing boats to a reef that borders the Philippines waters. And the boat number was way too high for this to be some accidental fluke. 200 fishing boats off the coast of the Philippines The Chinese are saying it's just a fishing expedition, and the Philippines are launching their Air Force to do surveillance every day, probably all day, which is going to lead to them burning through their fuel, which is a tactical move by the Chinese if they're looking for the Air Force to waste all of their fuels on recon missions. So how likely are we to believe that those were fishing boats, right? But again, that's what Chinese are saying, and that's some of the pictures I've seen, guys. They look like fishing boats, but I don't know if there's another agenda on those fishing boats. Anyway, the Chinese are also fucking with Taiwan. They've been fucking with Taiwan for some time now. They're actually looking to move on them, and if I'm not mistaken, they're also gathering their troops at the border. So with the Chinese and the Russians pulling their shit on smaller, weaker countries, both of them doing it at the same time, North Korea threatening to nuke the United States once again, and the female, the whatever her name is, put a picture of her now and her name, with her making these constant threats. At some point, we're going to have to get into it with them, and that's going to lead to nuclear war, because the country that leads or starts the nuclear war is going to be North Korea, and then the dominoes are going to fall. Then you're going to have China jump in, Russia, we're going to launch, Israel's going to launch, right? Iran's going to launch, Iraq, UK, Australia if they have any. So all of these countries are going to get involved and lead to one mass extinction of the human race. So, are we on the brink of World War III? I think so, and I think for real this time. Just what's the timetable, right? Is it a month from now? Is it a year? Is it 2 years from now? We don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say. All I'm going to say is that we are super close. The doomsday clock a couple of months ago did move, if I'm not mistaken, a minute closer to midnight. So I think this was a couple months ago. I'm not sure. So with that, they are also seeing the climate of the world, the political world climate, rising. And that's across the board. Anyway, guys, this is the Angryprepper. Thank you for watching. You can like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook as the Angryprepper, on the Angry Truth channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and you can head over to the Angry Truth channel, like and subscribe to that. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching.